Alright guys, I'm still driving to somewhere in North Texas. I still got about 3 hours, 3.5. And I know these videos are kind of noisy with the road noise, and I apologize. I may just delete them all and do them again when I can get quiet. But I ain't got nothing else to do, so I'm going to continue on with this series, and this will be part 4 of Hearing God for average folks.
In 10 miles, keep left onto I-40 West toward I-35 South.
In case you were wondering where I am, now you know. So anyway, we'll just do a quick 5 or 7 minute video, and hopefully, I know it sounds like there's wind going through the truck when I listen to the playback, but I'm in the cab and it's really not, but I don't know. But anyway, so what I want to talk about now is visions. When I first started, I had this idea that visions were like this panoramic, like you see something with your eyes and it's just like, you know, this amazing, you know, like John in the book of Revelations. And I'm not saying that can't happen. Again, this is for average folks. This isn't for the Apostle John or, you know, I mean, I haven't been caught up into heaven yet. I kind of have mixed feelings about it. I mean, I don't want to get caught up before I'm supposed to. but if I get caught up in a heavenly trance or a vision, I mean, I welcome all that. I'd love to see an angel. I'd love to have a conversation with my angel. I'm scared of what he thinks about me because he's seen all the good, bad, and the ugly. But what I learned along the way is that God speaks in visions to us all the time, but we need to understand what it looks like. So in our imagination, God speaks through the natural things He created us, our thought, our mind, our imaginations, our emotions. God speaks through all of that. Well, our imagination is a gift from God, and through that we can imagine things and see things, but we don't see them with our eyes. So, like one example, I do have a pretty active imagination. I can hunt animals in my mind all over the planet. I've got my camo on. I'm going on a hunt now. I can see them. I can see me missing. I can see the whole thing. But I just take, for example, I really like pizza. And since my diabetes, I can't eat it without creating problems for my body, but I still like crave it. So, I mean, I love pepperoni pizza. I love thin pizza. And in my imagination right now, I can see a Pizza Hut thin pizza with double pepperoni and double cheese and piping hot. I can see that as if it's sitting right in front of me. Well, that's just in my mind, but I can see it. So when you're thinking about visions, for most of us, we need to quit looking with our eyes. We need to look in our imagination, because God has spoken to me so many times through pictures and little movies that play in my mind. And I'm just going to give a couple of examples. For some reason, it's one of the most common ways God speaks to me, especially if I'm in a church meeting or if I'm praying for somebody. And if you really want to tune in on how God speaks to you, just start praying for people. Just say, can I pray for you? Put your hands on them. And I'm just telling you, it'll open up the Word of God to you, and you'll start seeing pictures. You'll start seeing, but pictures and little movies or images that come to your mind is what I call visions. And I'll just tell you about 2 or 3 of them. I think I'll tell you about 3 of them. It's 4 minutes. I might can get it done in 6. So I told you the story about my friend who lost his son, and I told you the story about the verse that came up. But before that happened, I saw a picture, and in the picture, I saw the son dressed in a white robe with blue and yellow like around the sash and all that, and it was very bright yellow and very bright blue, and he had a little crown on his head. And I just saw that picture, and then I heard in the still small voice, which we just covered, he's already on a throne. And then later I heard the story about why did this happen? Because I need him now. And then more of it, I realized what the kid was doing. I mean, I see why God needed him now. He was a 5-star. He skipped high school. He skipped college and went straight to the pros. But Interestingly, I saw that picture, and I hadn't seen him since he was 15 years old. And 15 years later, he passed away. They found him, and he was gone. But when I was at the church, I noticed the pictures on the screen were like the pictures in my vision. Not like I remembered him when he was 15, but like he was at 30. And I thought that was very interesting because I hadn't seen him in 15 years. And when I saw the vision, I'm not sure I totally recognized him. I knew who it was supposed to be. But then when I saw the pictures of him at 30, I'm like, wow, that's like really interesting. And then also, the stained glass in the church was the same colors, blue and yellow. So I did describe in the process of sharing the whole idea that he's reigning with Christ. He's I don't know what he's doing, but he may be over galaxies. I don't know. God's got a huge, eternity's a long, long time, and the universe is very big, and God is always active, and he's called to reign, and he's reigning. But I shared that, and my buddy called me later when I told you he called me. He said, look, I just want you to know that somebody came to me and talked about, did you share something about a picture you had of Michael, a vision? And I said, yeah. And he said, with the blue and I said, yeah. She said, the girl came to me crying and said, I saw the same picture. And you just, you don't know. You don't know, what it meant to my friend to confirm that God is really showing that his son is not dead. He's alive. He's reigning. He's serving. And he's going to meet him at the gate. It's just incredible. So, when I pray for people, I'm very sensitive to what I see. And there's lots of stories that come out of praying for people, but also like in church ministry, I'll have these little pictures, but a couple of stories, 7 minutes. So I don't know if y'all know I started an orphan ministry, 7-8 years ago, and what happened was I was at a conference. Ron Gray was there. We were actually sitting next to each other, and I was frustrated because I didn't feel like I had a genre. I had a calling. I knew I had a calling, but I didn't know what to put it towards, and everybody there seemed like they had a genre. And I asked the Lord, what can I do where my heart mirrors your heart? And the first thing I saw was a picture. And I knew the picture, and it was clear as day, and it was just like I was holding it in my hand, but it was just in my mind. It was in my imagination. But when we adopted, Lily was 7, we adopted her, and there was like 7 or 8 kids in her group, and the statistics on kids that age out, and that's almost past the adoptable age for most kids. Most kids don't get it.
In 2 miles, keep left onto I-40 West toward I-35 South.
I'm trying to hide where I am. It's not working. But anyway, so when I saw that picture, the statistics went through my mind, and they're horrible for kids that age out. And then God gave me 4 points for the ministry. It all started with the picture, and then it was followed by basically, the 4 points that they just kind of came up. Here's what I want you to do: step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. But and that's what we're trying to do, and that's how we started the ministry. And that testimony is part of the testimony of the ministry. The third little vision I'll share. I was sitting with Ron Gray again, and we were just talking in the man cave, and it was just a weird moment. While we were talking, I saw a vision in my mind, but in my imagination. So that's kind of the key. You need to look in your imagination, not look with your eyes. But what I saw was like a line of people, and everything was white. The room was white. The air, everything was white. It seemed like, I don't remember, it seemed like there was almost like fog coming off the floor. It was, and my assumption was this is like a heaven, like we're in a heaven room, And there's a guy standing right in front of me. He's got acne scars on his face. He's, I couldn't tell what nationality. I would say he was either Asian or Latin American. And he's standing right there close to me, and I see this line, and I look down the line.
Use the left 2 lanes to keep left onto I-40 West toward I-35 South.
Thank you, darling. But I didn't know anybody in the line. I didn't recognize a single person. And the guy was standing there. I looked at him. I said, who are you? And he said, well, we're here because of you. And I said, how? I said, I don't know who any of you are. And he said, we're here because of what you gave. And I didn't just listen.
Keep left.
do this. So I didn't just listen to Ray Bolt's. Thank you.
For 118